Bearcat Bounce Podcast, back at it again. Special week. Special week, but we started off with a special day. That special day is Monday. That's right. For the 100th time on a special Monday. Sometimes we went Tuesday. Sometimes we went during the day on Monday. We started out doing it on Sunday, if you have been following along with us that long.
I kind of forgot about that.
But that's right. It's the BBP Bearcat Bounce Podcast presented by Danco Transmission and Out of Care. And you know what? I'm going to have to say it again. Because, guys, it is game week. Arkansas is on the schedule this Saturday. Aaron, you and I will be heading on down to Fayetteville. And one of the other guests who's currently in the group right now, we'll have to get his thoughts on things. But without further ado, I'm going to have to bring in our guys, Mr. Aaron Smith, Mr. Chad Brendel. Gentlemen, for the 100th time, how are we?
I'm ready for game week.
Yeah?
Ready for game week.
Okay.
Finally.
It is game week.
I'm saying this has been a long time.
I think he meant game
coming.
day. He's ready for game. Oh, okay. The week's here, so
Yeah.
you're excited. Now you're ready
Yeah.
for game day.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Chad, how are we?
I'm great. If I was any better, I'd be twins.
Oh, man, heard that one before. Wow, and we've got a special guest down here in the oppo corner of Mr. Aaron Smith, and that is none other than Danco Joe. Mr. Danco Joe, how are we?
Fellas, what's up? It's a great day to be a Bearcat fan right here on the Bearcat Journal, Bearcat Bounce Podcast, baby.
That's what we like to hear. And you know what, Danco Joe? This is when I normally say my little blurb about Danco Transmission, and I tell people to head there and get this, get that. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to hand it off to the source itself, to the Danco GOAT. Joe, take it away.
Right on. Well, we're offering a special promotion through the month of September, all the way from now until the end of September, in honor of our 100th broadcast here. We are offering $100 off any service, any maintenance, anything you do here at Danco, whether it be tires, whether it be a transmission flush, an oil change, any kind of maintenance or service over $200, you're going to get a $100 discount. All you got to do is come in, say you're a Bearcat Journal member, show us your credentials, and you got to say, iron sharpens iron, baby. Bring it on.
There we go. Iron sharpens iron. And you know, Joe, a lot of people are going to be making that trip down to Fayetteville via car. You understand that, right? So that deal might be coming in handy when they make it back, the trek all the way back.
That's right. Get that. You can get that car service before you go. So there's even a few days before you go. You better plan early. You better plan now. Bring it on down. Or after you get back, we can service her up too.
Right on. Well, this is the 100th show. Chad and Aaron have been working behind the scenes, getting things locked and loaded. So, you know what? We're going to have surprises left and right throughout the show today. I'm looking forward to it. But, guys.
Should we let the people in on the fun, Aaron?
That's
Brent doesn't.
Surprises, not some prizes. Let's make sure that is clear. Surprises, not some prizes.
Well, speak for yourself. Maybe we'll have some prizes available as well.
I don't have any prize. We just gave the prize of Joe offering $100 off any service of $200 or more at Danco Transmission. So there's your prizes.
I did almost forget. You are mentioning prizes. It's a great segue. We are offering some prizes.
Okay.
So we have some BCJ swag. Shirt. We're going to do a couple hats. So all you got to do is come down for any service. Again, mention us, mention the Bearcat Journal, mention one of you guys. Say you saw Danco Joe, and we'll hook you right up. And we are going to have a drawing once a week for some awesome BCJ swag.
For some prizes.
Absolutely. Wow. Some prizes. So we got surprises and some prizes.
Wow. Surprise, some prize. But
we should give away that painting on Brent's wall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give away the Van Gogh on the wall.
It's actually a Pablo Picasso.
Picasso, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, you might be able to get this. Or we can play like Where's Waldo in Fayetteville, and if you see me, walk up to me and I'll get you a prize. How about that? depending on where we are, it'll be a better prize or a worse prize. But you know what? It is game week, though. It's game week, guys. It's Arkansas. It's a ranked matchup. It's 23 versus 19. It's Luke Fickell versus Sam Pittman. It's Ben Bryant / Evan Prater versus KJ Jefferson. It's going to be an exciting, thrilling contest. And you know what? With the guests here, Danco Joe, I want to know your thoughts. You've listened to podcasts, you read stories, you've heard talks around the city and around the country. What are your feelings heading to Fayetteville this upcoming Saturday?
I'm just like Coach Pittman. I want to know what kind of party this is going to be. Are we going to bring liquor or are we going to bring iced tea?
Okay.
So we got to know what's happening.
That was an outstanding quote from Sam Pittman. Do I ask Fick tomorrow, are you an iced tea guy or are you a liquor guy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Good luck.
So, yeah, as much as I hate to say it, I really like that guy. He's quite an interesting cat. But, yeah, man, breaking it down, I think it's going to be a tough game. You come down there, you're into SEC country. It's thick. You better be ready. You better be ready to face anything and everything they're going to throw at us. I know they're going to try to run the football. They watched the Alabama game. They probably think they can run it down our throat. I think they're going to have another thing coming. I think this defensive front for the Bearcat is a whole new animal. So been watching you guys report from camp. I'm really excited to see what these young guys are going to do. And I'm as excited as I've ever been for a start of a season.
Here we go. It's a very interesting feeling because obviously last year we kind of knew the feels heading into the first game. And of course, the first game was against Miami, Ohio. So it was kind of a can't wait to see all the toys out on the field. Now there's a little bit more vibes behind it. Imagine last year opening up at Notre Dame, first game of the season. You'd obviously have some feelings of confidence and comfortability. But
I would have felt great about it last year because Notre Dame was answering a ton of questions.
Right.
Even into week 4 last year that Cincinnati was not – like Cincinnati was like, here's our undefeated team from 2020. We're back. Let's go.
Well, but I'm just saying it would have had a different vibe instead of it being Miami, Ohio, week 1. So
sure, but I still I would feel much more confident than I do right now.
About
going into Arkansas in this situation.
Just the added factor to it of it being on the road against Arkansas and everything that has to do with the team this year. I guess Chad and Aaron, I got to throw it to you guys. What are your feelings now that it is finally game week? Now that it's no longer this preview of the team, it's going to be preview of another team and everything else that leads up to it.
There's tons of storylines, so content.
That's your thoughts on the game.
We're going to get to all we got a whole week. We can't give everything away on Monday. We got a whole week of content to fill.
Right now, that's my thoughts on the game, Brent. This is going to be the easiest week that we've had in a long time.
Okay. Well, what are your thoughts on Arkansas? How about that?
They're big. They're physical. They have a head coach that likes to play a similar style. They like to win in the trenches. It's going to be a physical, kind of nasty game, I think. The forecast has shifted. I saw today they are expecting the high to be 90. So it's going to be hot. It's gonna be a scorcher. The last time I checked was Friday, and it was supposed to be like 83. And then I checked again today, and it's pushed all the way up to 90. So it's gonna be a battle.
Yeah, 90 and all sun. How about that?
Said partly cloudy, so
yeah, might be different down there in Fayetteville. Joe, got to know what's one key position that you're going to keep an extra eye out for on Saturday.
Well, so obviously, it's going to be the quarterback spot. We're coming in with a new quarterback, regardless of who plays, right? I mean, I don't know that you can call Bryant a new quarterback. He's been here before. He certainly has a cannon. I saw somebody posted today that little chuck he threw down the sideline against the Thundering Herd. Kid's got a cannon. So, it's going to be exciting. I tend to feel like he's probably going to be in there from all indications, what everyone is kind of saying. Oh, you guys in the know. But, who knows what's going to happen there. But I'm going to definitely be watching that quarterback spot. And we got to run the football. So, you know what's exciting about it? We always talk about who the quarterback's going to be. Hell, who's the running back going to be? You know, who's the tailback going to be? That's a hell of an exciting battle we got going on there too. So it's going to be a great time. We're going to be tailgating hot and heavy down there. We are going to be at the Road Hogs RV lot. So if everybody wants to come join us, look for the Bearcat flags. We'll be flying them in full force, and we'll be ready to go, locked and loaded down there in Arkansas.
There we go. 2:30 kickoff down there, local time in Fayetteville. If you make the trip, don't lose track of timing and whatnot. But yeah, and Joe, the funny thing about that throw that he had at in Morgantown or Huntington, against Marshall, that was to Trey Tucker. So just a constant different feel of things now connecting, players developing, and now we have these players out on the field, and I'm excited to see what they can bring. I don't know if there's been much storylines outside of what has been constant throughout practices and whatnot. Chad, you've been obviously around the team quite a lot. Aaron as well, you and Chad doing the nightly pod. What would you say the pulse or the feeling just around practices recently, Chad? I'll go with you. Heading into what's game week now, and now it's back to the regular schedule of Tuesday interview with coach, and then I believe that's the only day that practice is available as well. So kind of just everything back to business as usual with this team.
Yeah, that's how they operate. It's all business always. So once they got back to campus, last week was a little bit different, but mostly just getting into that Arkansas mindset. And then they got the weekend off, and then they were back at it today. Media is around tomorrow for the Fickle press conference, and Tuesdays are the hard hat days, Bloody Tuesday, I think they call it. And it's full steam ahead, getting ready for the game.
There we go. Aaron, Saturday, other than the game, the trip to Fayetteville, you'll be heading down there. What are you looking forward to, just I guess in Fayetteville in general, or heading down there and caravanning, if you will?
Just hoping for good weather on the drive down. Don't want to run into anything remotely close to what we had from the drive back with the Cotton Bowl and the ice storm and all of that. So hoping that the roads just stay dry in general.
I don't think you're going to have to worry about an ice storm.
I know it's not going to be an ice storm, but I don't want anything that, again, just resembles that in any way, shape, or form. So I'm hoping that just the roads stay dry. That would be ideal. But no, just going to be cool to take in an SEC opponent and hear the famous Woo Pig Suey and all that, and get to see an opponent like just really in their element.
But what are your thoughts on the press box food in Arkansas? What are you thinking? I don't know that there's any known Arkansas cuisine.
If they serve any type of pork, is it considered a delicacy
Cannibalism?
there, or is it considered cannibalism? I don't know.
As long as they don't call it a Razorback or a hog, right? I think it should be fine.
It's gonna be like pulled pork and hot dogs, just all the pork,
all the pig.
Yep.
But yeah, if they make their own pulled pork, isn't that technically they're hosting their own pig roast?
Maybe that's their thing.
Weird.
I don't know. I know it's not going to compare to the Cotton Bowl.
I have ribs ready to go for Sunday. It's celebration.
I definitely have the pulled pork on tap, so we'll be doing our own little version of a hog roast down there. You can believe that.
I love that. It looks like it says Arkansas cuisine, integral to its culture, barbecue, country cooking, fried catfish and chicken, wild duck, rice, purple whole peas, okra, apples, fried green tomatoes, and grits.
I had no idea peas came in purple.
Yeah.
Purple peas?
Purple whole peas.
Purple peas. There you go.
Nope, don't do that anymore.
So Joe, when are you heading down south?
So we're going to head out. We're going to leave late Thursday night, early Friday morning. So
going through the night?
Yeah, we're going to drive through the night, get there probably early afternoonish, get set up, get rocking and rolling.
That'll be fun. Big crew going.
Yeah, we got about probably 6 to 8 guys going, and then I've had a lot of people contact me, say, "Hey, we're going to hook up with you guys down there," and so I'm like, "Come on over, let's get this party started, baby. Let's go."
There we go. That's what we love to hear. A little bit more about the game, I guess. KJ Jefferson is the quarterback for Arkansas. He's kind of, I don't want to say a similar path to Desmond Ritter, but he's kind of writing a story there similar, where he's growing within the program, developing within the program, and kind of becoming the centerpiece to the rebuild that they've done under Sam Pittman. Big time runner. He led the Razorbacks in rushing last year, and he obviously returns. Supposedly he's cut some weight, looking svelte is what they said, and he looks like he's primed to have a big season. I was thinking back to the most recent. Oh, here's Mo. How's it going, Mo?
Hey, what's up?
How are we?
I'm doing great. What's going on?
See, Mo, we haven't told Brent anybody that's coming on or when they're coming on, because we want this to be like a surprise for him every time somebody pops in. So you just surprised him, and now he's uncomfortable.
Well, I'm honored. This is great.
It's
By the way,
shows, Mo.
Happy 100th. Yeah, it's what a milestone. I hope you're celebrating with doing something besides a podcast.
It's the second one that you've got to join me for, Mo.
It's huge. It's enormous. Congratulations to everybody involved.
Danco Joe's the big one.
Joe, who's sponsoring this podcast. And Mo,
yeah,
if you need any work done on your car, Danco Joe just offered a special all through the month of September. For every service of $200 or more, service or maintenance, you get $100 off.
Can't beat that. No, I mean, I might go do something to my car just to take advantage of that.
Come on down, Mo. We'll hook you up.
Yeah, perfect. There we go.
Awesome. Well, I guess, Mo, we'll bring you right into the conversation. We've been kind of just breaking down, obviously, game week, everything, all the feels that go with it. What does it feel like for you now that finally all the preseason talk, everything's out of the way, and it is finally game week?
It's a relief. It's met with some anxiety because I got to be honest with you. This is the first regular season game in a really long time where I have sufficient doubts about whether or not they'll win. So it feels sort of weird, right? I mean, they haven't been underdogs since the SMU game 2 years ago, and then they were only a 1-point dog. And, let's face it, they were going to play in an empty stadium, so you really weren't worried about the environment. So it's refreshing because we finally have something. Well, on Saturday, we'll finally have something concrete to talk about instead of speculating about a lot of different things. But in terms of the game itself, it feels weird. It's been a long time since in a regular season game, I had legitimate doubts about whether they'll win. That doesn't mean I believe they will not win, but let's be honest. This is a tougher game, even including Notre Dame last year, in which they were favored. This is a tougher game than any they've had in a regular season in a very long time.
Take quarterback out of the equation. What's one thing on Saturday that you're really going to keep a close eye on?
Want to see how good this team's offensive line is. Chad and I have talked about this on my show. I think to a degree they have a chance to have an offensive line that has a really, really high ceiling, could be one of the best they've had in a while. But how does that stack up against an SEC front? How does that stack up for an offense that's going to have to be, maybe not more run-centric, but I think we're expecting the running game to have a little bit more explosiveness to it, a little bit more diversity to it. Certainly if you're expecting some growing pains throwing the football, they're going to have to run the ball more effectively. That to me is what I'm interested in. I'm interested to see how Cincinnati's offensive line can handle what they're going to get on Saturday, and to find out if there's anything that we see on Saturday that tells us about what this offensive line could do, beyond Saturday. That to me is the biggest thing. And to a degree, not necessarily bigger than the quarterback situation, but I mean, I think I have an idea of how Ben Bryant's going to play this season, and I certainly have an idea of maybe some of the growing pains that Evan will face whenever he's finally thrown to the fire. I'm curious about the offensive line and seeing how that holds up. I know a lot of people are going to say, who's filling which roles in the secondary. All that stuff is really interesting. What it's going to feel like when the other team decides to throw, to all sides of the field, which we're not used to. But for me, more than anything, I want to know how good this offensive line is.
You seem confident it's Ben. Do you know something we don't? Because we don't know yet.
No, I know nothing. I know nothing. I just I know where the smart money has been this whole entire time. So
yeah, I think we haven't been shy about that. We think it's going to be Ben, but in the last scrimmage, they got equal snaps. They split snaps with the ones and the twos. Luke hasn't tipped his hand as to which way it's going to go, which he told us that was going to be the case as early as right before camp started. And he said that all summer. We're not going to know until I joked off the air with Pete Thamel today. He asked me, and I was like, Pete, the person that's going to break who Cincinnati's quarterback is you sometime Saturday morning. He's like, yeah, I need to call Luke. I'm like,
yeah. Well, so typically for the pregame show, we do the quarterback, right? So I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Typically for the pregame show, for game number one, we do the quarterback. We do the quarterback before the first game, and we do the quarterback before the bowl game. So certainly the last 3 years, it's been week one. We're talking to Dez. So sort of knowing what my answer was going to be, I put in my request. I'm like, hey, it's, Tuesday. I need we got to talk to a player. Typically it's the quarterback week one. And the message I got in return was, how would you like to talk to Josh Whyle? So Josh Whyle will be the guest on Saturday's pregame show. We'll tape that tomorrow. So
he's starting quarterback, Josh Whyle. Okay.
Josh Wiley's going to be a starting quarterback. Yeah. So how about that?
Heard it here first.
When do the Razorbacks see that? So I tried to just see if maybe on Tuesday they'll make the announcement, or if on Tuesday I'll at least be given the, hey, here he is, don't say anything, but neither was the case.
How about this? If they announce a starting quarterback tomorrow, I'll give you $1,000, and if they don't, you give me $50. Because that's the surest $50 I've ever made.
How about I buy you a beer at the Moorline House?
Okay, that works.
Very
that works
good.
Too.
There you go. That'll work.
I have another question that's right up your alley, and you might be the only person we're going to have on today that's overly qualified to this question. The line opened at 7.5.
Yeah.
It is shrinking substantially. It's already at 5.5, and Pete Thamel today said he thought if he was asked what the line would be, he would have thought 3 or 4. Do you think it goes down that low? And if you're a gambler, do you need to act now?
No. Tony Pike and I talked about this when it came out at 7.5. Both of us agreed if you were going to bet on Cincinnati, that was the time to do it, because I didn't think the number was going to change in that direction. I didn't think suddenly Cincinnati was going to get 8.5 points. It always felt to me like it was going to max out at what it opened at, which was 7.5. So if you missed it at 7.5, you might want to get it now in fear that, it keeps going in this direction. Why is that? Has there just been an influx of public money or some well-respected money on the Bearcats? But I mean, legitimately to me, and I'm not a very big I told you so guy, but I looked at it at 7.5 and said, I doubt, first of all, the quarterback thing is going to get drawn out to the very last minute. Now, let's say an hour before the game, it's, Ben Bryant's getting all the snaps. Ben Bryant's going to start. It's out there. We'll see how Vegas responds. But I mean, to me, they were never going to get more than 7.5. If you think it's going to fall down to 3 or 4, I would do it now. I mean, I sort of feel like whatever you buy it at now is pretty close to what it's going to be by kickoff. But there's a reason why those lines come out when they do for week one, right? Because, they want to see who's going to bite instantly. They want to see where the late money is going to come. The line's going to move accordingly. And so I tend to think that the time to buy was a couple of months ago, but it is interesting that the line has moved that drastically. I got an email late last night or early this morning. I think it was early this morning. And it was, and I didn't really read it because I had so much other stuff going on, but it was rough. Essentially they ran through every single game and they told you how much the line had moved, and some of them hasn't moved at all, how much the line had moved from when they were first posted. And I don't know that there was a game that saw a movement of more than 2 points beyond this one. I say that having given it a very, very quick glance. And so a deeper dive into it might reveal otherwise, but again, I mean, if we could go back in time and have everybody at 7.5, I don't think the line was going to, go in the other direction. The fact that it is going in one specific direction would tell me, if I hadn't invested already, I'd get it now, because it feels like the way this is going, this might be the value right now to buy the Bearcats as opposed to waiting a couple of days.
And I think it's a reflection of, there was a lot of unknown going into Cincinnati's camp. And I think coming out of that camp, the Cincinnati side feels pretty good about what they have. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. But we're not coming out of camp going, boy, still worried about corners, still worried about quarterbacks, still worried about linebacker, where PFF today graded Cincinnati as the second best linebacker core in America.
In the country, yeah.
After losing 2 guys to the NFL. This isn't your older brother's Cincinnati Bearcats when it comes to stuff like that. We'll let you go. We only asked for a few minutes. I know you've got extra innings tonight and
maybe the game just started.
You're not gonna have extra innings tonight.
This is like, I mean, I enjoy doing my show, but it's sometimes a nice change of pace to work at night, especially this time of year, because I can do yard work. I can do some stuff with my daughter. But then when it's time for the game to happen, your entire life revolves around, what time might the game end? How much time am I going to have to do? Oh no, there's a rain delay. Will we get on it all? And so we're in, this could be stressful. I'm stressed out right now.
You could say you're in,
not really.
You could say you're in FC Cincinnati like purgatory, tying 2-2 or 1-1, or hell is real. You're in purgatory.
Let me just tell you something, right? Really quick. Friday, Saturday, I'm at a bachelor party, right? It's awesome. We're in French Lick, beautiful golf courses, casino, sports book. So the night before, people are talking about, what are we going to gamble on tomorrow? And I talked like, well, there's 2 college games, but I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do just for the hell of it. Let's go 3-team Queen City parlay, which violates 2 rules of mine. Number 1, don't bet parlays. Number 2, unless you could avoid it, don't bet preseason football. But you know what? Bunch of dudes from Cincinnati, bachelor party, were in a book. Come on, let's do it. So 3-team Queen City parlay. You had the Bengals, who were 2.5-point favorites against the Rams in a game in which you knew no good player on either team, or no experienced good player in either team was going to play. Then it was the Reds, which, okay, the Reds stink, but the Nationals are worse. Oh, and then it was FC Cincinnati had to win, right? So Bengals, in the quickest football game ever played, they cover with ease. Reds win the game because TJ Friedel is fooling everybody into thinking he's like a cornerstone. Great. Awesome. 2 for 2. Now, the book is not showing the FC Cincinnati game. You got a couple of random college football games on, some baseball, and the Andy Griffith show. And I go to the guy at the book and I go, what do you say? We swap out Aunt B for FC Cincinnati. And he looked at me and he goes, is that hockey? So we weren't going to get FC Cincinnati. So fine, whatever. We're all on our phones. I'm following CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com on Twitter. FC Cincinnati social media person was, they felt like they took most of the night off. So the Columbus Crew tweeting nonstop. So it's 1-0, and then it's 1-1, and then it's 2-1. And I'm looking on social media. People are really excited. This is going to happen. And again, FC Cincinnati has to win the game. A tie does not help us. They have to win the game for the parlay to hit. So in the, 96th minute,
Yeah.
I am. I had gone to buy a round of drinks, and as I'm going to get them, I had 6 beers in my hand. I'm thinking these are going to be celebratory drinks. Many of us, not all of us, many of us have made the Queen City parlay wager. And as I come back, there's a guy that we're with, and he has this look on his face, and it looks like someone has just called him to tell him that a relative died. And I just knew. And I said, let me guess. It happened again. Columbus scored with like no time to go. And he's like, yeah. So Queen City parlay done. FC Cincinnati fandom severely questioned. And it's another reminder, don't bet parlays.
Ever.
Yeah.
Real quick, Brady's here. So before we let you go, one last question. Have you ever had anybody do to you what Pete Thamel did to me? Pete Thamel bossed me today. Did you get to listen?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even get to interview him. He interviewed me the whole time.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. That was good. I learned a lot. No, I learned a lot. I'm going to stop talking because Brady could beat me up.
Well, you have a great evening, Mo. I hope you don't have to do what is the worst thing in your situation right now, which is like 8 minutes of the extra innings.
The 8-minute post-game show is brutal. I'm doing 4 post-game shows this week. The 4th will be in Fayetteville. That's the one I care about most.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks
for
Mo.
stopping by.
Thanks, guys. You got it.
Thanks,
Have
Mo.
fun. See ya. All right.
See you.
There you go, Mo Egger. And now we've got another guest, the fourth member, the honorary 4th member of this podcast. He's not allowed to say anything.
Just laugh.
He's just allowed to come in
100, boys.
and be
Mr.
part of
100.
episode 100. You have earned that.
Mr.
Damn right.
100. How are we?
Damn
How
right.
are we, Brady?
Oh, doing great. How are yourselves?
Oh, you know what? Can't complain.
We made it to 100 without divorcing each other, so I feel like there's something to be said for that.
That's true. That is a huge testament to all you guys. It's quite the feat. And, again, it's an honor to always get on here and talk about the boys and the program with you guys. And definitely wanted to jump on and just say, appreciate you guys and everything you do for our guys in the program. And, again, 100, man, that's awesome.
Brady, Aaron said everything's going smooth, but all day today I've been trying to figure out who the heck they're having on guest-wise, and they kept me in the dark for all of it. So I was a little frustrated, and I just sat back all day, and I said, as long as Brady makes a little, 5-minute appearance, that'll just make the whole night okay.
And
So
here we are.
Indeed.
So here we are.
Indeed.
Here we are. Let the sus comments flow through the comment feed right now.
Brady, did you see the 513 shirts announcement today?
With silence is the violence.
Yeah. What'd you think about
Absolutely.
the new line from 513 shirts? And why should everybody go support Joe Huber and buy his merchandise at 513shirts.com?
First off, it's an unbelievable sweatshirt. I bought a sweatshirt, and as soon as I saw it, I sent a picture to all the O-line guys, and they just had the GIF of the wrestler, and it just said yes, because I mean it's amazing. He's in his stance and everything, and everybody should buy that outfit or that sweatshirt or T-shirt, whatever you want to do, because you're supporting a great cause, you're supporting a great company. You're supporting a great young man that is, come into this program and done everything the right way. Again, a man that is tough and nasty on the field and yet off the field. He's an engineering major. He's he'll work out at 6 a.m. in the morning and then go to an internship class for 5 hours a day and still go to practice and, compete and perform at a high level. And, again, just very proud of him. But it's a cool shirt, and everybody get out there and make sure you support the boys.
Doesn't it look like an 80s, like Tecmo Bowl, retro kind of design? And that's so fitting because that's what you guys listen to when you're in there at 6 a.m. is the old school, metal,
Oh yeah. No, when Joe and I are rolling, it's pretty simple. It's 5-finger death punch, and it's quite the taste, let me tell you.
And then you see
Sounds
Danco
perfectly
Joe's shirt, right?
That's right. I see him. I got to see him out at Higher Ground one of those days.
There we
What's
go.
up, Coach?
How you doing, buddy? You looking good
Doing
there
great,
in that
man.
shirt.
Doing great. So, man, thanks a lot. I thought I got to see Brady Collins for the last time before the season started, and here you are again, ringing in, the hardest working man in college sports, brother. Love what you do.
No.
Love what you bring to the table, man. Dude, just love it. I'm all
I
about
appreciate
BC.
you, man. Appreciate you guys, dude.
Well, we appreciate you. We're not allowed to ask you any questions about anything. We can't get into anything. So we're just going to say thank you for taking 5-10 minutes, stop by, say hello. It has been look, one of the biggest things that made this podcast take off was when you agreed a couple years ago to come on every other week. I don't think people remember for an entire offseason, you were on every other week on this show. And that helped us get off the ground with this thing. And we love you and we appreciate you stopping in. And you're the absolute best. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, man, I appreciate you guys. Love you all. All I did was provide some insight. You guys drive this thing. Kudos to all you guys. And until we can officially talk on here again down the road, hey, it'll be after another phenomenal year by the boys. But always here. And, yes, can't wait to see you tomorrow as well.
They were going to try to put the
We've
muzzle on us. One second. They were going to try to put the muzzle on us last week. And we were like, look, we don't talk to them during game week. Like, we know. We understand. We talk to them in the off season.
Yeah, they're probably more looking out for me than you.
Yeah. It's a mutual thing.
Yeah.
We don't want to upset the guy in the big office on the 7th floor accidentally.
Oh no, you can't do that. He knows I come in all best interest.
Before you get out of here, Coach, before you get out of here real quick, Coach, no questions. I'm just going to make one statement. I am not worried a bit about our guys being on that field close to 100 degrees. They're going to be in shape. They're going to be ready to go. There's no doubt about that. And that's thanks to you.
Damn right, man. I mean, all that stuff, that's external stuff, I mean, let's face it. Look at the Indiana game last year. Hot. So, all that is just extra noise and people can talk about it and all that stuff. But very excited about what these guys have done and feels good to be in game week, man. I can't wait for, the fans and everybody to see what this 2022 Bearcats football team's all about.
All right, Brent, you can say goodbye now.
Brady, we've come a long way, man. You were here for 99, and sure enough, you're here for 100 as well, man. Wow. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this week.
Good luck, Coach.
Appreciate it. Hey, I'll be back for 199. How about that?
Ooh,
there you go.
And then 200.
There we go. You're damn right.
Sounds good. Thanks, Brady.
All right, boys. Have a great show, man.
Yep. See ya.
All right, see ya.
How have we done so far, Brent?
I'd say 3 for 3. Yeah.
Joe, are you hanging out all night? You good?
No, I'm doing. I think I'm going to get off here. I'm going to go grab a cold pop and watch the rest of the show. Let you guys do your thing, man. And
here's what we can do. Here's what we can do if you'd like. We can just put you in the lobby and you can watch from the lobby, or you can leave and go do your thing.
Okay. Yeah, you can put me in the lobby. That's fine.
That way you're behind the scenes, and if you got something, you can put it in the private chat and we can bring you in. You can communicate with us. You're the sponsor of this show. You get special treatment.
All right.
That's how this works.
For sure.
You get special treatment. So we'll put you in the lobby. If you got anything in the private chat you want to add or you want to come back in at some point in time, you'll be there, but we'll put you there. And that way you get a little bonus that nobody else gets.
Right on.
All right.
Well,
thanks, Joe. You're the best.
Proud to be there with you guys. 100 episodes. It's freaking awesome. Listen, I watch a lot of podcasts. Nobody does what you guys do. Day in, day out, you're bringing the content. You're making it happen. So I'm trying to get everybody to join, man. Support the BCJ on YouTube. Subscribe. And then subscribe to the extra little special member perks. And also to the BCJ, man. Get out there and get it. It's the best info going.
All right. We appreciate you, brother.
You're the man, Danco Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Well, shoot. All right. 3 for
And then there
3.
were 3.
3 for 3. And like and subscribe, as Joe said. We got a lot of. It's our biggest regular
Live.
Monday night show live that we've had ever. So if you're here, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. If you'd like, if you want to support us in episode 100, under the chat, there's a little $sign. You can donate to the show. You can become a member with the join button underneath the screen right down here. You can support us in many, many, many different ways. But we appreciate if you don't do any of that. But subscribe is free. Subscribe. But aside from that, we appreciate all of you being here and supporting this show that, honestly, we'll pull the curtain back. Aaron called me drunk one night. I had never met him before. Somehow he got my number. I'm not quite still.
No, that's not how it went. I slid into your Twitter DMs. I was like,
oh, yeah, and I said, call me.
You want to talk chop? Like talk shop. And you said, yeah, go ahead and call me.
That's right.
How that went. Make me sound like a creep. Get out of here.
And then we talk shop. And then after we talk shop, I sat on it for a couple days. And I said, you know what I think would work? I think Aaron and Brent in a podcast would be really interesting. Let's try it out and see if it works. And 100 episodes later, here we are. We didn't even do a trial episode. We just did here's show 1. We didn't do a test run or anything.
2 feet in, for sure.
So
I didn't even know
you.
Aaron.
No,
we didn't. They had never met each other.
No.
I had one
I'd
phone
only
call.
met Aaron once.
I had one
over
phone
the
call.
phone.
Saved his name as Aaron Podcast, and I'm not going to lie, it's still saved as Aaron Podcast.
It sounds so much better than Aaron Smith.
I was like, Brent, I think I got a podcast for you. And you were like, with who? And I was like, I'm not really sure.
well, no, you actually said, Brent, you put in a lot of hard work. I think it's time for you to have your own podcast. So I didn't know that behind the scenes about Aaron. So I've been saying thanks to you this whole time. I guess I need to be saying thanks to Aaron.
Well, Aaron didn't know what he wanted to do. He just knew he wanted to do something.
Wanted in.
He wanted in. And I was like, I think this is the best way in.
You know, it would be funny if we did chop up some bits and pieces from the first episode. It just,
Ooh.
I mean, I haven't re-listened to
Aaron's like, no, that's good. I'm good.
Pilots are overrated. I agree. But what? That was after week 1, I believe.
The crazy thing is, it was a big success immediately.
Yeah.
There was 1,000 listens to episode 1, as bad as it was. And as much as we didn't have any
chemistry
rapport or connection or chemistry between the 3 of us. And now we're the 3 best friends anyone could ever have.
Wow. As long as I'm Alan.
Brady
I'll
thinks
roll
so.
with it. Gosh.
What if I would have told you, both of you, that on
The 3 best
before we recorded episode 1, that not only is it going to be us, but Brady Collins is going to be our 4th member. And that's going to become a real thing that Brady sits down with us regularly to chop shop.
I would say who? The TikTok star? That would be what I'd say.
All right, let's get back to Arkansas. I don't know when anybody else is coming in next.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna branch off what Danco Joe said though to Brady about how I know you're gonna have the boys as prepared as anyone in the country, hardest working guy in the country, this, that, the other, because that part of things aren't really hashed out in preview write-ups and preview videos that you watch that are kind of on the national scale and even from the Arkansas side of things, because the development that this program has done, with Brady and with all the coaches, this, that, and the other. The fact of the matter is, when you go and you read all these national stories about the preview and whatnot, all they mention are nine players going to the NFL draft. They mentioned then the fact that the staff isn't comfortable with picking a quarterback yet. I saw that in 3 different stories today.
Wrong.
Right. I saw that in 3 different stories today. Then they mentioned the fact that the defense has no playmakers after they lost all of them from last season. And then I'm seeing predictions that are 38-20 and 42-17. And it's okay, I understand a little bit behind it if you're just really looking at it as paper and you see, wow, one team's returning their quarterback, their running back, and they're two defensive All-Americans. Yes, I understand that side of things. But it's what Danco Joe said. It's what Brady constantly reiterates every single week that he's on the show. It's what we talk about all the time, is the fact that all these players that are ready to step up now have been developing in the program the same way that Curtis Brooks, the same way that Alec Pierce, the same way that Desmond Ritter all developed through the program. So it kind of was just ticking me off a little bit reading all these different preview articles, if you will.
What you're reading is AC or SEC versus AAC. That's what you're reading.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I mean, there is no more. They put no more effort into it. It was, it's SEC versus AAC. It's a ranked top 25 team from the SEC against a ranked 25 team or top 25 team from the American. Like,
yeah,
we already know.
Well, and it's a thing that we've mentioned throughout, and Chad, you've kind of mentioned this a few times, is the fact that, these group of 5 teams, if you will, they go on that Cinderella run, and they have that one team where everyone is grown up on the team. Everyone has a career, year, and then all of a sudden they fall off. And you know what? I don't think it'll happen, but a lot of people out there imagine that's exactly what happened in Cincinnati. And now it's going to go down. You know what? And another thing, and I know you guys always laugh at this, but the misspelling of the word Cincinnati, man. There was one preview that had it CINATTY. I was like, I said a Y.
I respect that.
Sissy.
If you're going to get it wrong, you're going to get it wrong. Get it way wrong.
All the way wrong.
All the way wrong. Not just mixing up the double N and the double T.
You invented a whole new city.
Yeah. Just get it wrong.
Cincinnati.
I'm down with that.
Cincinnati, and in the next paragraph, they spelled it the right way. So they got to get a new editor. They got to get a new editor or something. Autocorrector's not coming up with Cincinnati. I'll tell you that much. But it's just, you read all these articles, and you know what? I've done my fair share of listening to Arkansas podcasts as well. And I tell you what, man, they are very confident in this team. And you know what? I'm sure if you had an Arkansas fan or someone covering the Hogs, they'd say, you know what? I listened to a couple of Bearcat podcasts, and they seem pretty confident in their team as well. So I don't know. It's the whole back and forth.
I don't know that that's true. I don't know that anybody is over the top confident in this team winning at Arkansas. So
but we also aren't like, down on the lows, like, oh, I don't know what the team's gonna do about losing all these players. You know what I mean? It's more talking about the reloading thing rather than completely restructuring the team.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I think that's what we've all said, though, is my point. Like, I certainly don't think that you're finding anybody who's out here.
Confidence in the team, not in the game, just the team.
Okay. I mean, I think you can have confidence in the team and still not be sure that you're going to win this game.
Yeah.
My stance on this, all of this season has been very simple. Like, as a preseason prognosticator, I err in the favor of veteran quarterbacks. We did it last year with Dez.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did we say about Notre Dame and Indiana and UCF and Houston? Cincinnati has the leader that can go in and get the job done. Right now, Arkansas has the veteran quarterback. So that pushes me to their direction, even if slightly.
Yeah.
That's just me. Like, me, I don't sugarcoat. If I don't feel, I still feel great about this team's chances.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder, fourth quarter, nut cutting time, game on the line, I feel better with a veteran quarterback than a guy that, now maybe Ben's situation is a little different because you factor in the starts at Eastern Michigan. But guess what? There's nowhere in the MAC that's putting 80,000. He might not have seen 80,000 in the entire MAC road schedule last year.
Right.
If we're being honest.
Yeah.
So
combined.
that's just the honesty of it.
Yeah. I agree. And you know what? We mentioned offensive line. Mo talked about offensive line. And Arkansas's got a really good offensive line.
Yeah, they're huge.
104 combined starts between those who are returning had to replace the left tackle, but they're, by all accounts, they seem really confident in who is going to be replacing them. It's the whole thing is like, I also saw mentioning, I forget who said it. Someone who covers Arkansas mentioned the fact that, you know what, you go to these practices and you say, this guy looks great. This guy looks really good. This Luke Jones is the left tackle, 6'5", 327 is the replacement. The only guy that wasn't a returning starter last year. And, you mentioned he looked really, really great. But then comes the thought of, was it him looking great and the other guy across from him wasn't really great? It's so many things. It's hard to decide what's good and what's not. And Nick Bauer, good point. But it's going on both teams. Arkansas, they lost a lot. It might not be number wise, but they lost a lot in pure talent and big time playmakers that they had, especially on the offensive side. So I don't know. It's going to be a lot of different storylines going into it together. And I think a big game plan will be, of course, obviously what happens in the trenches. And that's why I think like a player like Juwan Briggs needs to have a coming out party.
Oh yeah.
Needs to be honestly the best player on the field on Saturday. I think needs to be Juwan Briggs because he's going up against an All-American at center for Arkansas. So
that certainly give you the puncher's chance that you're looking for.
Yeah, right. Ricky Stomberg, second team All SEC last year, preseason first team All SEC this year. But I don't know. The trenches is obviously where both coaches are saying that their program was built from, like you were mentioning earlier, Chad. And I don't know. It's going to be exciting to see, obviously, which quarterback does get the call. And obviously, if it is Ben, which we've, tea leaves here, there, and everywhere. But,
it's not tea leaves. It's just what we've seen. Like,
right.
It's opinion on, watching practice and breaking down everything that, the margin between Ben and Evan is really small. I think experience is part of that margin that unfortunately Evan doesn't have a say in.
Right.
That's not his fault.
No.
It just is what it is.
Another position, not of concern for Arkansas, if you will, if you read kind of their board over on the 247 site a little bit.
There's no respect. Of course not.
No. Well, no, there's not at all. But they do have a little bit of they're not fully confident in the cornerback situation that they have going on. And, if you can establish a run a little bit and you can find a hit here or there with the big wide receivers that Cincinnati has, the big play receivers, then you know what? That's the big time. But I think turnovers is going to be key. We'll mention it throughout the week, obviously, but KJ Jefferson doesn't throw interceptions. He had 4 interceptions and 294 passes last year. Can, the defensive pressure be enough to kind of get him a little erratic at times and, contain his legs on top of maybe turning him over once or getting a fumble or getting a big special teams play? I think a lot of things go into it rather than just offense versus defense.
Were you surprised at all by the amount of respect that the coach gave Cincinnati in his presser today?
No.
Not even a little bit. Uh-oh. We got a new guest.
Jay Will.
What facial hair?
Yeah, Jay Will. I like the look.
I'm actually just being lazy. I need to get it shaved
before
we get into the season here.
Keep
it.
This was the Arkansas look you were going for.
I'm gonna just say right now, that could be a mean mustache.
Yeah, I've never seen the stash that full, man. That is impressive.
That could be a mean mustache.
Can you twist
I went to the dentist recently, and my hygienist referred to it as a crumb catcher.
Oh.
Which,
I'm is
it a crumb
at
catcher?
That term.
I've heard mustaches referred to as worse, so I think you're doing
Exactly.
I guess I'll take it.
It's good to see you, buddy.
You too. What's going on, fellas?
We're just surprising Brent with guests tonight. He hasn't known any of the special guests that we're
who else has popped on?
So far, Danco Joe.
Mm-hmm.
get $100 off your next service or maintenance of $200 or more for the entire month of September at Danco Transmission. Mo Egger stopped in. And we also had, of course, BC Brady Collins, who is the official fourth member of this podcast until the season starts. And then everybody freaks out that you can't talk to Brady during the season. Right. And we're like, we know.
He would do it.
He would absolutely do it.
Yeah. You're saving him from himself and you from all of
everything that goes along with it.
From some very angry people. So
you know what?
Whenever Justin's on here, I think about the dishes in my sink.
Hey, look, I'm putting them on hold for the 100th episode of the BBP. So the brand is strong. Apparently.
I told Mo earlier,
the facial hair and the brand is strong.
I told Mo earlier, this is the second time he's got to celebrate 100 episodes with me. So that same for you, sir.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah, because we did the part in the punctuation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what I just tweeted?
No.
I'm tweeting it right now. You tweeted out the 2 deep, and I tweeted, this is how you should do your UC coverage, Bearcat Journal or Justin Williams.
That's right.
Right? Like it's 1A, 1B.
That's right. We're both starters.
It's like the running backs room, right? Where everybody's a starter.
No, there's only it's quarterback or one or two. There's not four. It's one or two.
Yeah. And Ryan Montgomery or Charles McClellan or Miles Montgomery or Corey Kynan.
Yeah. We're really bending the limits of the 2 deep here on these things, aren't we?
Really nailed that one down.
Brent, have at it. Like this show is for Brent.
Well, can we talk about your mustache a little bit more?
Sure. It's not. I don't know if it's technically officially a mustache.
But it could. Like that's what stands out.
It could be.
Is the stash? Yeah, I'm going to do the same, Aaron. Like this is Brent. Brent, you got Justin.
All right.
You know what? Right.
Going ISO.
I hate to. Well, I mean, we are a team, though. This is a team podcast, guys. So if we're doing that, we're all out. We're all sitting on the outside.
Come on, we're just messing with you.
I know, but no, I think your mustache rivals Brady's. So, it's a high level.
Can you got Raleigh fingers? Can you?
No.
We're not to that point.
No. Just
2 months.
Just semi compliments from the hygienist. That's as far as it's gotten.
2 months from now, you'll be able to.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, Justin, have you begun your deep dive into Arkansas yet?
A little bit. I've talked to some people. Actually, I think this is a little breaking news. I will share this with the BBP listeners. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for this. I believe David Ubben will be at the Arkansas game. David Ubben from The Athletic. He was in town for what was the game day game last year? Was that SMU?
Tulsa.
David Ubben was in town. He wrote a great piece about game day being in Clifton. He used to cover Arkansas and lived there for a long time. So, I've talked to him more about restaurant recommendations than about Arkansas football, to be completely honest. And I've talked to some other people who have kind of covered the team. I've read some coverage of them. And as I know Chad is in the same position as I am, there are apparently like 65 local radio stations that broadcast out of Fayetteville. Yeah. And I've been, Chad and I think have been trading off appearing on them. So I've kind of listened in on some of those podcast radio stations, what have you. Those people, maybe not the most objective, but are very excited about Fayetteville. It seems like Cincinnati's going in to face the 72 Dolphins, according to some of these radio stations and podcasts. So that'll be interesting to see. But I've tried to do a little bit of research. Yeah.
No, it's funny because I've been just listening to some podcasts here or there to just kind of get them in my mind of what, to maybe expect. And then all of a sudden you'll pop on or like you said, Chad will pop on and I'll be like, oh gosh, these
wait a minute. I already know what they're going to say.
Well, then I listened to it and I'm like, dude, Chad said the same thing on the BBP. But no, it's
There's only so many things you can say.
no, I know.
That's why I want to know, like, how deep Justin is on a Fletcher brothers story already.
No, I just randomly knew. I think like last year I saw that his brother got a scholarship offered to Arkansas.
Yeah.
And then I just heard this week that the Fletcher
Mom.
parents were coming into town for it. I actually don't think his younger brother is the starting punter.
He's got an oar. He got an oar.
Oh, he got an oar as well. Yeah. So
Yep.
he's right in there with the BCJ athletic coverage for Bearcats. Similar situation. So hopefully we'll get to see him. That would be pretty cool.
I need an oar in the background on the wall.
I think his brother's like a runt compared to Mason, right? He's like 6'4".
Yeah, he's only 6'4".
Yeah, come on.
Jimmy
small.
Smith thinks he's tiny.
What is he the shovel, maybe?
The shovel.
Anyway.
We're not gonna call him the one that starts with the
Dude,
H.
I almost said that, but I've kept my streak of bad words to a minimum. So
I appreciate it. You
If
get to
you
go.
would've
You get to
said
go
that-
101.
If you would have said that after the last 2 weeks, oh my gosh.
We
Yeah,
might have
oh
had
my
to call it. We might have had to call it at an hour. Just be done.
and then I just go drink my astronaut food all by myself and really.
Have you guys cracked
Contemplate
those
life.
yet?
No, I've been
No.
waiting the whole. I had to go get another beverage because the other one was just sitting here in front of me.
We're waiting.
Let's get this reaction here real quick while Justin's here. Do you know this story, Justin? The astronaut food from Urban Artifact.
Okay.
It's supposed to be the strongest beer in the country,
15% alcohol per
Oh
volume.
wow.
and it's
We're
only
gonna
8 ounces.
shotgun
8
it
ounces.
on air.
I'm not shotgunning it. You shotgun it.
So this is
My kid
Urban
upstairs.
Artifact. Yeah, he's got a 5-week-old, 6-week-old upstairs. Let's get they're not a sponsor anymore. At the moment, they could very easily come back into the fold as we get into football season. But when we got those sent to us, I didn't get one. They didn't send me an astronaut food. They sent Aaron and Brent, and I think Mick got one.
I think Mick got one.
Mick got one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bullshit, isn't it?
Maybe
Let's
we
get a
know by-
reaction from you two on the Urban Artifact astronaut food
Cheers
for episode 100.
Cheers to 100, Aaron.
Tastes like wine.
Yeah.
Cheers to 100.
Oh, he heard the crack of a beer, and look who's here.
Wait, what?
like the siren song, the crack of a beer, and Dave Simone just appears.
You know, it is what it is.
It tastes like wine.
What are
That's
we
what Stu just said. Tastes like wine.
What are
It
we
does.
drinking?
Tastes very good.
Astronaut food, the strongest beer in America.
Oh,
So
okay.
strong it tastes like wine.
Tastes
Wow.
very good.
15.9% ABV. What was it? Dehydrated blueberries and something else.
Yeah, it says blueberry freeze-dried fruit tart.
I did drink plenty of wine this weekend, so you know.
How was that? Where's Dan? Did he make it through the weekend? How was the summit?
He did. Dan's doing well. He had some other business to tend to tonight. You know, the grind never stops for conference realignment expert Dan Simon. But you know, I wanted to jump in here and congratulate you guys on something that I could not have imagined ever happening. You reaching 100 episodes.
Wow. You hate,
You know how many
we
times-
celebrate 100. There we go.
You know how many times I got a call from Dave going, "Are you sure about this?"
Wow.
That's a lie.
I know. I'm
That
kidding.
is a lie.
I'm kidding.
This
Kind
would have
of.
been the perfect time for Dan Simon to pop in full garb.
I mean,
He's
you know,
busy.
He's busy. Like
He's probably
you know,
at a board of
you-
regents
you-
meeting somewhere.
You saw
Yeah.
the yacht we were on in the
Sure, yacht. Yeah.
in Bay Harbor, Michigan. I can say where we were now that it's over. You know, we were up in
That's close to Chicago.
yeah, in Petoskey, Bay Harbor. You know, the Bay Harbor Golf Club.
Did you see poor Ryan Royer's face as the Dan Simon call came in, and he had no idea what to do or what was going on?
no, I couldn't because I was going like 95 up 75, like in northern Michigan. So I For my
What
own
kind of
safety,
driver?
I did not see anything that was going on.
Fair enough.
I didn't even have the heart to like try to explain it to him. I was like, it's an inside joke. We'll explain it down the road, Royer.
Well, you know what the craziest thing would be is if like a sixth screen popped up and it was Dan Simon. I'd lose my mind if that somehow happened.
And that would freak me the
Yeah,
fuck out too.
I would too. Yeah,
I'd say I'm out. All right.
I would start to question some things that I did this past
One
weekend.
too many astronaut foods there.
Yeah,
If only
They've
he
only
looked
had
like
one sip each. That stuff starts happening. Like, what's really in the astronaut food?
if only he looked like Dave's dad.
You know what's legal in Michigan though?
no, I don't.
Real astronaut food.
Yeah.
No idea what you're talking about.
Dave, do you have any questions for Justin about Arkansas? This is the only time we get to cross-examine him. Although I'm going to force him to come on radio with me
What?
sometime this week.
Have you tried to reach out to do a feature on Bumper Pool?
I think Staples did something about Bumper Pool. Actually, he's is he a sixth year, right?
I think he is. He did come back. He's using his COVID year. I mean, he
Right.
gets a lot of attention for the obviously fantastic name, but he's like pretty damn good at football too.
I was gonna
so-
say he is the like good name, good football player crossover.
125 tackles, I think, last year. So
Yeah, that's Ivan Pace territory right there.
so,
No, he's good. What they got a transfer from Alabama,
yeah, Will
safety,
Sanders,
I believe, who's supposed to be good.
Another linebacker.
Wow.
Okay,
now, when
and
they
then
talk
there's-
about him, do they only
Crazy.
refer to him as
Drew
the
Sanders.
Alabama transfer?
Drew Sanders.
Yes, probably.
Probably.
Alabama
Yeah.
transfer Drew Sanders.
Yeah,
They have a
Oh,
very
yeah.
good safety though, too, right?
Jalen Catalon is
Jalen
good.
Catalon,
They got a
All-American.
couple DB transfers, one from LSU. Not
Just
sure.
name
When,
dropping here. Is that what this segment has become? Just name dropping as many Arkansas football players as we
I
can
guess.
think of.
Just
But-
trying.
But Dave, they weren't slotted as starters today.
they weren't. Was that? Is that news you're breaking?
No, it's news that's on the Arkansas athletic site.
Oh, okay. I have not had a chance to look at anything. I did watch an interesting interview with Coach Pittman from last week where he intimated that the Hogs are a little banged up. Now we'll see where that goes. That was on like the 25th, so that's still plenty of time from
Yeah.
then until the game. But
I think they were talking O-line, but
Jaden Hazelwood has been injured, so we'll see about that.
I'm curious, like, I think everyone probably correctly assumes that Arkansas is going to go let's see if we can, recreate
them.
the Cotton Bowl and
Yeah.
run it right up the middle and, and or force them to change up what they do defensively. After that, I guess I'm kind of curious and maybe they are too, because the whole quarterback situation, like how do you think they plan to attack Cincinnati? Because this offense is so, no matter who's a quarterback, it's going to look considerably different than last year. So like, do you blitz a new quarterback, or do you, because you don't know the running back situation, maybe drop a couple more? I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see how they approach it.
Yeah, I mean, they're going off last year. They didn't do a very good job pressuring the quarterback last year. They didn't do a really good job in pass defense either. The defense was kind of middle of the road in basically everything. They were in several shootouts. One with Ole Miss, gave up a bunch to Alabama. I mean, so did everybody else, but they also scored a bunch against Alabama. I don't
They were
know.
a good running team last year. I think led the SEC in rushing, and then obviously had a really
seventh in
good
the
receiver
country, yeah.
who's not there
Yeah.
anymore. But
They run just a ton of RPO stuff. I mean, it's basically KJ makes the decisions. A lot of it was to Burks, like on quick stuff last year. For as big of a dude as he was, he played a lot of snaps in the slot. And now they're kind of going opposite of that with Hazelwood, who's more of like your true slot type guy. So we'll see how the offense changes.
Well, they got that, and they got Matt Landers, who's like a 6'5" outside receiver.
Yeah, I mean, like Matt
Started
Landers has been trading on
Right.
being a 5-star for how many years, and he hasn't done
Oh
what.
no,
So
exactly.
is that the
Man,
Oklahoma guy?
no, that's
No.
the Toledo to Georgia to
Georgia
Arkansas
to
guy.
Toledo, yeah.
Jaden Hazel was the Oklahoma guy. He's kind of in the same boat. Like, I mean,
Right.
he got passed by several guys at Oklahoma the time he was there.
He had like 400 yards last year in 12 games.
So, I mean, I think they'll try to do that because, I mean, they have the enormous offensive line. They've got their running backs back. KJ Jefferson is as big as all of our linebackers. I mean, he's as big as every team linebackers pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, they're not – defensively is where I think we can – like, I don't – if the quarterback –
You're not as high on them as some of the podcasts I've been on, Dave.
No. I mean, I think they're good, but, like – I don't know. You went 9-4. You played Alabama. Like, are we giving them credit for playing Alabama close and not really talking about giving up 50-something to Ole Miss? And like, you know, not really beating anybody. Like, they got worked by Auburn. Like, I mean, it's not one year to the next, but like Auburn was a dumpster fire last year and they worked them over.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like some of the narrative I've heard from UC people is like, oh, I wish this were like the Notre Dame game where it was in week 4 of the season. And maybe Cincinnati is like going to be really good and that would not be a problem. I actually think this might benefit Cincinnati better it being week 1 because I feel like there's some similarities in that Arkansas doesn't totally know who they're going to be this season yet either. And I think your best chance might be figuring yourself out, working out the kinks, because I do think Cincinnati's talented is going to have a good year, but Arkansas might really have it together week 4 and be a tougher matchup whether they would win or not. Yo.
The man who saved that I couldn't do this tonight without bringing in the man who saved my vacation and told me, take your ass on vacation, don't work. I got the podcast. None other than Cincinnati assistant Andre Morgan.
Fellas, what's up?
Look at that giant Big 12 on the sleeve. That's beautiful.
Is that not street ready yet?
It's an iron-on. It's fine.
That's my around the shirt. You know, a house shirt at least. That's my.
Yeah, that's just the house shirt. Yeah, I got you.
It matches the chest tattoo you got too.
Something like that.
Didn't hold back.
Coach, nobody ever thought we could do it, but we're at 100 episodes for this podcast. Especially Dave. He didn't think we could get past like 30.
Well,
but,
I thought you could do it. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say
that? You weren't even here when we started.
I knew you'd get to 100 though.
on the back of Coach Morgan, they were able to do it.
That's right, the Morgan bump.
The Morgan bump. The basketball team is back in town. The boys are back in town.
Yep.
How's the vibe around the program? The roster is set. The season, the non-conference schedule is released. Practice is a short time away. Bye, Dave. Love you. How's the vibe around the 6th floor of the Linder Center right now?
A lot of excitement. We're ready to get started. You know, kind of put some things together, see what we got, see how things kind of mesh, you know, with one another. Ready to compete, ready to get going.
There you go.
Justin,
Coach
has
has
anything for Andre?
This is a lot of focus on football season right now, but how do you guys approach? Wes has talked a lot about how he kind of approached the summer. What changes for you guys once school gets back in session? I know you're not like full practice. Well, that's October 1st or something like that, but kids are back on campus. They're in school. How does that change what you guys do from a team approach situation?
Like now, we're in individuals. We'll kind of start some team stuff here shortly. But getting the guys reacclimated to, class, a workout, like a pretty structured deal. We're trying to crank it up, man. We're trying to grow a little bit. We're excited about this group. Coach is really excited. A lot of new pieces, which is exciting. But we also return a lot. So we'll see how it all kind of, like I said, fits together, meshes together so that we can kind of, make some noise a little bit this year.
Jason, if you don't spy a Big 12 logo on that shirt, see an eye doctor.
I'm talking about, guys.
We saw Rayfelt put out a Dan Skillings photo. Has that been doctored, or is Dan really, is he bulked up like that?
You know what? Dan Skillings looks a lot different. Let me say that. Yeah. There's quite a few guys who have made big time jumps with their body, with their conditioning level. I was actually complimenting Coach Rayfeld today because he's like guys, he's a superstar. Like my man is like, he's a real life rock star in terms of what he does with those guys in the weight room, outside of the weight room, to continue to have them on a strict routine that, can help them improve their bodies, so that I think everybody would be pleased when they see the guys. They look a lot different.
I was gonna say, I think I was more impressed with Vic, actually, because Vic's shredded.
Yeah. It's funny. I said the same thing to him today. I was like, man, I'm really impressed with Vic, and I'm really impressed with Dan, and then I'm really impressed with the list goes on and on, with all the guys who have made big improvements with their bodies. Jeremiah Davenport, another one. Like, he looks great. His body looks great. Landers Nolly, he's an incoming player for us, but we obviously got a chance to see him up close and personal last year. And he's made, in my opinion, a really big jump in terms of his body, what it looks like, how he's moving. I appreciate that, Chad. Yeah.
No, it's something it's something else. It has nothing to do with you. It'll be after you're gone. But there's something happening behind the scenes here on this podcast that makes me, like, my face hurts. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, look, hold on. I got dishes to do. I'm going to let Dr. Dre hold court here. Brent, Aaron, I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm proud of you guys.
I'm happy we could get you a couple questions in with Dre.
Oh yeah, that was big surprise for me getting a little Dre time tonight. I appreciate it.
Is that story coming out this week or next week? The quick Dre quotes real fast, Little...
No comment. All right.
All right, Jay. Thank you for stopping in. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll see
you
in
in Fayetteville.
All right.
They're going.
Fayetteville.
See you.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
See you.
My question is, UNC Greensboro wasn't exactly the biggest football school in the world because they didn't win football. And you guys are new to this football thing.
Right.
The only guy that really has experienced, obviously, Coach Dollar has been at a bunch of football schools.
Right.
Coach Roberts was at Indiana. That doesn't count. They barely play football there.
Okay.
I hope nobody tells him that. How does it change recruiting? You get to schedule official visits around these like massive, highly like driven environments at Nippert Stadium.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. We have, and I mean this, we've got the best fans in the country, right? And so anytime we can put our fans on display, for recruits, of course, that's a huge advantage for us. And so, I'll never forget the first time I walked into Nippert, and I was like, oh my God, I was blown away. It's a big time environment. The same can be said. I stopped by the women's soccer game the other day. That was a big time environment. Volleyball game the other day. That was a big time environment. And so, again, our fan support, it's like I like to tell recruits, man, it's just different. You got to see it for yourself.
How much does that impact the official visit schedule or the visit schedule in general before you get to the season? Because it is another tool in the bag that schools that either don't have football or don't want to bring recruits to a massive stadium that's got 30%, 40% capacity.
Man, we're spoiled. That's it's a great time to be a Bearcat in terms of the fan support, in terms of the movement that we kind of feel like we've got from the basketball standpoint. You've got volleyball had a great weekend this past weekend. You've got a lot going on, which obviously gives us a big boost, from a recruitment standpoint.
I see you working in those catchphrases. Great time to be a Bearcat. The movement.
Part of the
Well
movement,
done.
yeah.
Well done.
You caught the movement?
Yeah, you've been working on this. I see you, Coach. I see you.
Hey,
All right.
you can't miss the time to recruit a little bit. Come on now.
Right, well done. Well done.
So tell us about recruiting. No, I'm just kidding.
Just
kidding. I see. I almost got you. I almost took you there. You would have just closed out the screen like
Thanks for having us.
Lost connection.
Congrats on
Sorry,
100.
guys.
See you later.
Thank you for jumping in, man. Yeah, you were like, it was awesome that you. Oh, Brent,
one
okay,
quick
go
one.
ahead. Brent's got one.
Coach, thanks for coming back.
Of course.
You know what? Last time we talked, I was applauding your acumen on the basketball court. Got to ask, how's the game looking right now? You've been able to get some shots up. Are we still feeling that little back and forth with the coaches, as you mentioned?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. That's a strong negative, right? I rarely ever get on the court. We do have one GA that, I'll be honest with you guys, I destroy him every single time I get a chance.
Abdullah Do?
Like I don't like to put that out there, but there is one GA, I'm not gonna say his name. Like I've kind of gone at his head a couple of times, and so like that's been a while. But no, man, I don't get on the court anymore, in that capacity. I try to, make sure I'm trying to help somebody else get better on the court. So
You brought a question out of me there, Brent.
Yeah.
How cool is it to see guys like Kyle and Stowe take the GA opportunity and turn that, like, you were there. I'm sure you were a GA at some point, or like at the beginning of your career, and those guys have taken that and they've run with it. It sucks that they're not going to be here for this coming season,
right?
But they're starting their journey, and their roots are here in Cincinnati. That's got to be awesome as a guy that is now a couple steps ahead of that, on the process.
Yeah, no question. You talk about a guy like Kyle, Jordan McKenzie. They were great for us this past year, and kind of ahead of schedule a little bit. They got opportunities really, really quick, but we kind of cheered them out of the door in terms of, taking those good opportunities and starting their careers. And so Coach Miller.
Stowe as well, right?
Stowe is still with us.
Okay. I thought I saw somewhere that maybe I read that wrong.
He better still be with us.
All right.
That's who Dre's been giving buckets to.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, I didn't say his name. Hey, Brent, we didn't go there and we didn't say his name. It may be him. But
That's on me. That's an assumption by Brent.
I'll put it on me.
We added Abdul Ado. He's now a grad assistant with us. And then we actually added another guy by the name of Malik Massey. He played for Coach Miller, myself, Coach Roberts, Coach Lepore, at UNC Greensboro. So those are big time additions for us. They add obviously a ton in terms of experience of their own, as players, and also, that be on the floor and off the floor. And so they're going to be great additions, for the staff and for the guys.
Well, we appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for popping in. We have not told Brent any of the special guests all night. He just knew at some point that there were going to be people popping in.
Hey,
and,
Brent, it is great to see you. Aaron, it's great to see you too, man.
Yes, sir.
Chad,
it is what it is.
It is what. No, it's always good to see. I appreciate you guys having me.
Coach, you're a natural, man. You're a natural.
I appreciate you guys.
I'll tell you guys this back home. I'll tell you, like, everybody watching, the large viewership that we've had tonight, the biggest viewership we've ever had for a live BBP. Every once in a while, it'll be kind of late in the afternoon, early evening, and I'll pop in, just like poke my head in the basketball offices. And I know every time when I do that, I'm gonna find Coach Morgan, I'm gonna find Coach Dollar, and they're getting work done. They're making calls.
We're all in there.
Your office is that conference room with Coach Dollar. You don't actually go in your office, dude.
Chad, he got 45 phone calls while he was on with us for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was maybe more. It was absurd.
And
Felt
Aaron,
bad for the guy.
Aaron, he had the most polite goodbye.
He did.
But like you guys are great,
I
but
gotta
I really gotta
go.
go.
I had to go
it was
like
so polite.
30 minutes ago, guys. Like
It was so polite. He even
Yeah.
showed us his phone. He was like,
Yeah.
"Look."
there's so many calls.
I was like, "All right, coach, I believe you." Jeez, I don't think you're lying. Get out of here.
You all are hilarious, man.
I'll stop by tomorrow afternoon. I'm gonna be on campus. I'll stop by and say hello.
Look forward to seeing all you guys, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Miss you,
Yes, sir.
Coach.
Appreciate you, Coach. Have a
We're
good night.
excited.
Thank you.
We're excited.
No doubt, man. Appreciate
Yep.
you guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Later.
Tell the kids I said hello. They love me.
Will do.
All right, man. That's Andre Morgan. This
Yep.
has been fun. Like,
We got one more guest, Brent, and I
you
can't
ready?
wait to bring him in. This is it. This is the last one. Are you ready?
Is it
Any
Dan-
guesses
is it
to
Dan
who
Simon?
the last guess is?
Dan Simon.
Brent, Aaron, congratulations!
Wow.
I heard I got a call earlier today. Was known that this was the 100th BBP, and I had to come on and tell you how happy I am for you guys.
Wow. 100 straight. We didn't even have to realign once. How about that? Dan Simon.
Consider yourself lucky.
Wow. How are we, Dan?
Aaron, Brent, I'm fantastic. The things that we got done this past weekend, you may have heard from a confidant of mine, are going to reshape and revolutionize the college sports landscape.
So you're not at all worried about the Pac-12 picking off the Big 12 with all these buyout talks and vote offs and dissolvement of the Big 12?
I am not, because apparently whoever is talking about that is reads on a third grade level and does not know how to put words together to make sentences and see that there are rules and stipulations in place in the very public, very open Big 12 contract that basically says that will never happen.
Thank you.
Brent is at a loss for words. I've never seen Brent at a loss for words,
I'm-
other than when he said words he probably shouldn't have said.
That's kind of why I'm holding back right now, Half a bottle of wine and an astronaut food down, and I tell you what.
Astronaut, you say?
Astronaut, yeah, one of those guys.
Wow,
So-
we will.
So, Mr. Dan,
Yes.
Mr. Dan.
Oh, I want to say thank you for all the kind words in the chat. I'm a big fan of all of yours as well. Just trying to help put the Bearcats in the most advantageous situation possible.
Yeah, wow, you're making me feel more confident than I should right now.
Let's just say he can't stand up.
Yeah, wow, yes. We had Brady, we had Justin with a Brady mustache, we had Dave Simone, we have Dan Simon, Coach Morgan, Mo. I mean, woo.
This hat looks like a bleached where in the world is Carmen Sandiego.
Let me just say, this is why we didn't want to tell you anything, Brent.
Yeah.
Because if we told you, you were able to prepare for all of this, then I think it's better that it was just natural. That we wanted natural Brent in this environment for show 100.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. That's natural. Brent is a scary guy. I'll be honest, and I've been holding back natural Brent for an hour and a half now, and it's been flowing fine.
I have to answer one question right off the bat.
Yes,
Marcus,
Dan?
no, George K was not in Michigan. This was a summit of intelligent people who are trying to elevate the sport and not drag it down to its tradition-rich history of not putting teams in the college football playoff or having people pay attention to their teams because they're any good. So no,
Wow.
George K was not included.
Brent needs a cold shower.
That and then some, Jason. Tell you what.
Oh, man. Jeff Jeff, who's going to host the show with Dave Simone starting next Sunday.
Who
what
is
have I
this?
stumbled on?
I keep hearing about. I mean, I've met him a couple times, and talked to him briefly on what was that Wednesday while I was driving up to Michigan for the summit.
Yeah.
Who is this Dave Simone character? What do I need to know about him?
Scary
You
guy.
know, he's been a member of this program or this network for a long time. He's done a couple hundred episodes of the Bearcat Journal podcast. If Dan Simon had a mustache, Brent would be changing his pants right now. You need to. Never mind. We'll talk about it off air. So that's Dave Simone. He's got deep family connections.
Oh, okay.
To the UC football program.
I mean, I've heard many things. I don't know what to make of those things, whether they're true, false, fabrications, straight up lies.
Did you also attend the Brian Kelly School of Changing Accents?
Yes.
When you went up,
twice.
When you went up north with your family.
Yes, I mean,
right?
I was in Michigan, with the great Michiganders.
With your family. Well, Dan,
now you've got your master's in accent adjustments, right?
I have two masters. One in accent speech pathology, and another one in conference. Well, actually, three masters. Then I mean, obviously, I have one in conference realignment.
Oh.
And then golf.
You can't be an expert without a master's in conference realignment.
Okay.
And then also sports management. But we will not speak of what school was foolish enough to allow me to attend their university and procure a master's from them.
I can only imagine where Dan Simon went to school.
Dan Simon does not do dishes, Jason. That is beneath me.
Beneath you. Well, Dan, I guess I do have a rough substance question about realignment.
Hey, bring it, Brent. That's what I'm here for. We're here to celebrate the 100th episode of the BBP. So I'm more than willing to maybe throw a couple, nuggets out there from the summits that took place up in northern Michigan.
Okay, so now that the season is upon us, do realignment talks cut off, or are they still revving up, still rolling during the season?
Brent, it is full speed ahead, my friend. There is no slowing this train down. Now, you might not hear about it during the season, but believe you me, my friend Brett, my other friend Bob, the some of the big dogs in the conferences we like to speak of, we're still talking. We're still making moves. We're still, negotiating.
Wheeling and dealing, some might say.
We are wheeling. Yes, as Reed just said, we are open for business. We aren't, this is full steam ahead.
Was Mike up north with you guys?
Mike was up north with us.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mike was. Yeah, he was on the dinghy. We were on the 130-foot yacht.
Okay. Yep.
But he did come up. I think his Spirit Air or some other knockoff airline brought him up there.
You were kind of carrying his weight pretty much.
I mean, we want to extend the olive branch to as many people as possible outside of George K, because he's just a straight up buffoon.
Okay.
And we have no time for buffoonery.
Fair.
When you're talking such important matters of conference realignment.
Okay. Awesome. Chad,
All right.
Chad, here's Dan. Are we?
Dan, we love you. We have to get to the mailbag, or is the show?
Well, hey, I don't want to hold you guys
Dan,
up.
Dan,
Yes.
your friend Dave, one thing he really likes is Jell-O shots.
Well, hey, that makes two of us.
So Dan, I think you should get your fair share. And
Dan, did Dave tell you about the Simone family tailgate?
Yes, I'm aware, and he invited me. So, if you're out there and you want to join, he told me to come by anytime this year. So I'm hoping to be able to make a appearance. at the tailgate for maybe one, maybe all of the, University of Cincinnati football games this year.
Where can they find that tailgate, just in case?
They can find that tailgate on top of I believe it's called the Campus Green Garage. Is that for you guys that go to games on a regular basis?
That's a popular place. It's right across from the new business school.
Okay. Should be easy to find. I'm looking forward to it.
Not moving to the
take
comments
the elevator
quite yet.
up, or you can walk 4 flights of stairs.
Yes. I need to do the walking. I need to burn off this. We had quite the spread at the conference realignment.
The yacht looked nice. The yacht looked outstanding.
I mean, Burke brought in his yacht. It was it only got a few channels, but hey, that was all right. So
all that matters.
It was a good time. I don't want to keep you guys from your mailbag. I hope you answer some fantastic questions, and I'm sure we'll be talking again hopefully soon.
The one final question Jason wants to know: considering all the backstabbing that happens with these alliances, did you wear Kevlar during your outing?
Jason, Dan Simon, conference realignment expert, does not need Kevlar because no one would be foolish enough to approach me in such a manner that I would need to wear Kevlar. So no. They wear Kevlar because they're afraid of me.
Dan, thank you. We'll hear from you throughout the season.
Gentlemen,
have a good night.
Dan out.
Thanks, Dan.
That's all of our guests, Brent.
Unreal.
Wow. Dan, that was great. That was absolutely great. Thank you. Well,
when you came into this episode, without knowing who was going to pop up on the screen throughout the episode, could you have imagined a better BBP 100 than this?
I honestly didn't even think that there were going to be any guests until.
Oh, you thought we were messing with you?
No. Well, no.
Okay.
Until Aaron put the BBP mailbag up, and then I saw it said with special guests because, I wasn't in the loop on any of it. So when I saw that, that's when I shot Aaron a text, and I was like, "And who are the guests, by the way?" And he was just like, "You will have to wait and see." And I was like, "Oh, come on, man, just tell me who the guests are." It was the whole I know something you don't know.
And then I ghosted you. I ghosted you so hard.
I didn't care.
And then you showed up in the group text, like, okay, who are the guests?
Yeah, I was like, if you want a good podcast out of me, a little research behind it, then throw me a little bone. Who we got?
But you didn't need to research the guests. The guests were family.
Family, I agree. They
were family.
They were.
The guests were family.
I was thinking maybe like Oven would have popped on or something. That would have been like, all right, let's talk Arkansas. I got a lot of Arkansas stuff lined up, and it'll go on the article. How about that? 5 keys to a victory for the Bearcats, or 5 storylines to watch. There we go, something like that. Yeah. Like Aaron's answer to my question about what are your feelings about Arkansas this Saturday, and his response was content. And I was like, all right, so that's how the podcast is going to go. Great answer. What are your feelings on a football game coming up on Saturday? Content.
We do this because we love you. Like
I've been trained well.
The best thing for content tonight was to keep you on your toes, keep you bobbing and weaving.
I was lining up to ask Danco Joe 30 questions about Arkansas, and I'm sure he would have knocked it out of the park.
He would have crushed it. We can bring him back in. He's still here if he wants to come back in, and he can do the mailbag if he wants. We've never had Danco Joe do the mailbag.
Well, he's in the lobby. Danco Joe, you want to come back for the mailbag?
Oh, he just put his screen up, so he's good.
Hey.
What do you think of episode 100 of your podcast, Danco Joe?
I think it was awesome. Enjoyed every minute of it. But the way it just ended with the realignment expert, it just doesn't get any better than that.
My face hurts from this show. I'm not going to lie.
Same.
It's only just beginning, Joe. We're about to get the mailbag popping too.
Let's wrap up. Let's get a mailbag going, Aaron Smith.
Here we go. First question comes from Bearcat Brian. Can Brent's best bets be back for this milestone?
Yeah, I think they can. You know what? Because I tell you what, Mo was talking about don't bet on NFL preseason. Man, I wiped the floor of NFL preseason over the weekend. So I tell you what, it's not too hard if you look for a couple things here or there. Let's take a look though. Upcoming games this weekend. I think right off the bat we got to roll with Cincinnati in the game, and you know what, that line that it started at 7.5 is such a sucker line to take the Bearcats, because that touchdown it leaves the door open for so many things. That 7-point hitting, you can get a backdoor cover. Like Arkansas could be winning the entire game, and then Cincinnati backdoor covers it. Like 7.5 is something fun to watch. But Cincinnati, I'm still going Cincy. Take the points and sprinkle a little bit on the money line. That's what I'm sitting at.
Brent.
Yo.
Hypothetical.
Ready.
We're looking to expand and to have a podcast every day.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're looking to move the BCJ podcast to Wednesday.
Right.
What's your availability for a quick 30, 45-minute show on Thursday?
I have no obligation week in and week out on Thursdays. The only hard one would be like when I'm traveling somewhere, like
every other week.
Every other
like a
week.
wedding.
Like a wedding.
Luckily, so get this. There's
the perfect time to bring back Danco Joe.
There's a wedding on the schedule this season.
Which one?
No one's surprised.
Get this. It's
Indiana.
It's the Saturday after the Friday night ECU game. How about that? Wow.
That's great timing.
Got lucky. Great timing.
Let's workshop a Thursday quick hitter show. I've got some ideas. We'll talk about it.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay.
Let's see here. Notre Dame, Ohio State. I want to take your guys' thoughts on this because this was another big mover. It wasn't mentioned by Mo, but it started at 14.5. It's all the way up to 17.5 right now.
I saw 20
in favor of Ohio
today.
State.
Whew. I saw 20 today.
I'm still taking Ohio State in that. I'm sorry, Marcus.
I just don't think Ohio State's ready to really deal with. I think this can be. Pete Thamel mentioned it today when I interviewed him. This can be LSU 2019. This Ohio State offense.
Yeah,
like it can be one of the greatest offenses in the history of college football.
Right.
I am also thinking Ohio State in large fashion. Does it end up over 20? I don't know. But I think Ohio State wins this game big.
I've never been a bigger Notre Dame fan than this week.
Oh, I agree. I 1,000% agree.
Just wanted to put that out into the universe.
But I think this Ohio State team is significantly better. Marcus is changing everything. But I think we also forget, and I mentioned this on radio today, I think we also forget Marcus has only been at Notre Dame for like 18, 19 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, he hasn't had a chance to really change recruiting there yet.
All right.
Yeah, Joe, I got to ask a question. Are you you're in Indiana, a legal gambling state? Do you dabble with some lines here or there at times?
Oh, for sure. And I was watching that Ohio State game. What did that line went up significantly, didn't it?
Yeah.
17.5 is what it's at right now.
And what did it open at?
It was at 14.5, I think is what it opened up as.
Yeah. So it looks like a lot of big money moving in on the Buckeyes. And when's the last time you saw a Marcus Freeman defense get beat by 20?
Who knows? It's been a
I
long
don't know
time.
that he has
Great
the
question.
studs. I don't know that he's had time to build the studs in the defensive backfield yet. That's my question, Joe. Like, I think, like, if you talk about next year or the year after they rack up a couple number one recruiting classes or top 5 recruiting classes, that they will. But if you look back at why were we so confident UC would beat Notre Dame, it was because outside of Kyle Hamilton, they didn't have anything in that defensive backfield that could contain UC. I don't know that they've solved that problem against what is potentially the most dynamic offense in the country going into week one.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up, Joe, because you have to think back to what Dez's sophomore year at Ohio State is probably the last time that a Marcus Freeman,
one of his defenses got smoked.
Yeah.
It's funny. It was Ohio State.
Yeah.
In the shoe.
Yeah. I guess if we're going to do Brent's best, we'll do the last ranked versus ranked game of the weekend. Oregon versus Georgia. The Bulldogs.
In Atlanta.
Yep, in Atlanta. Bulldogs 17.5-point favorites over number 11 Oregon. I think you got to roll with the defending national champions.
Do they score enough? Is that offense ready to score enough to win a game by three scores? Their defense is going to be amazing. Period. We know that.
I think they are. I wasn't sold on Oregon last year. I mean, it's just, and obviously it's a different looking team this year, but I don't know. I just think it's the whole reigning national champions just still bring back a decent amount on that, and the quarterback factor as well. I'd ride with all the favorites except for the Cincinnati game and let the dice roll and see how they fall.
All right. Which of our high school commits could you see making a big move up in the rankings based on their senior seasons? Are there any 3 stars that we think will end up as 4 stars when all is said and done?
Chad, is it more of a... I don't think we've seen much movement out of
1 second.
Players just from their senior season. I mean, but if you're looking at some performances, it looks like Malik Elzy's been dominating. I mean, it's just, I don't know if you see too much movement, but I don't know too much about that side of things as well. Let's see here. Who's on the fringe? Trevor Carter moved back up to a 4-star composite.
He's having an amazing start to his season, so that's possible. I don't know how Aiden Green's not a 4-star.
Right.
Have you watched any highlights of that kid?
Yeah,
Beast.
I watched him.
How is Kamari Anderson not a 4-star? Those 2 kids should be 4 stars, no questions asked.
Did you guys see that hit that Rohan Davey had?
Yes.
Yes. Ooh.
I mean,
ooh.
If that's the lowest rated player in the class, I mean, come on.
I also think Braden Moore is a 4-star.
Yeah.
And Cam Calhoun had 106-yard interception return for a touchdown.
I think it was.
Whatever.
I think officially it was 105. All these dudes are doing stuff though. Is the point? Like, none of them are sitting idly as they have their acceptance. Well, of their.
And I have my sleeper in this class.
Ready for it?
Jason Hewlett.
He had a couple good plays too, I've been seeing.
He was hurt last year. He didn't get to play. I think he slid down in the rankings because of it, which I understand. But that dude, with his size and his athleticism, you're talking about 6'3", 200 pounds. If there's 839 players better than him in the country, kiss my grits.
Would you think maybe Brady Dragish makes a bit of a rise as well?
Potentially.
With a good season. And
if he shows like his ability as a passer,
right?
We know he's a dual threat. He's athletic. He's made a name for himself. But if he shows he can really deliver the ball as a passer, then he gets on the list too.
Tinfoil hats on, and if Cincinnati goes 12-0, 4 or 5 of these guys become 4 stars. It's crazy how that works. But
it's also crazy how it works. Like you guys had already mentioned this. Who's also recruiting these guys? I know these are Bearcat recruits, but it seems like when these other teams jump in, it's amazing how their stock rises.
Weird.
Funny how that works, isn't it, Joe?
But I agree with what Reed Culver's saying here that LZ is going to be a pro. I mean, look at his stats and his highlights so far, just through the early part of the season. He's just dominating.
All right, more difficult game. Indiana at home, Tulsa on the road, or
It's a great
ECU
question.
at home. I view these three games as sneaky, challenging games that could define the season. And if you're talking about potentially having a trap game, if they do beat Arkansas, I think one of these three could definitely be it.
I think it's an easy answer, honestly.
I don't think it's Indiana.
I think it's Tulsa on the road.
I agree.
They are dying to get that one win over Cincinnati before Cincinnati jumps.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, ECU.
They're not going to.
ECU at Nippert might as well be an FCS
No
school.
chance. No chance.
I mean, they get waxed every time they come to Nippert. And it's a Friday night, Nip at night game too, where that's an added factor as well. And then Indiana at home, man.
That's a big game for Indiana, Brent.
It's huge for them. And also there was some blue check mark guy on Twitter today said that one of his big upsets of the year, Indiana at Cincinnati, which is just ridiculous. But aside from that, it's just.
Weren't Holt and Ehlers and Tom Brady in the same recruiting class?
I think Ehlers was 1 year older.
Yeah, 1 year before.
Yeah.
94, I think.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
94 class.
It's been there so long.
But we say that, and everybody said that about Dez.
Right.
1 year ago, it was like, is that guy still at Cincinnati? You got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I just think the Indiana game is like it's going to be the craziest atmosphere.
If things were reversed and that game was at Indiana, I might buy that. That like it's a crazy trap game. Who's Tulsa? I'm only familiar with Tulsa. It's fair. Jason, it's fair.
That is the only thing that Chad is excited about of going to the Big 12 is no more
being done with Tulsa.
Tulane and Tulsa.
I don't be gone.
Right.
Yes, Indiana wants redemption. Reed, no, there's no shot they're going to get
at Nippert. Come on, man.
No.
I mean, they just aren't very good. I mean,
Micah McFadden's not there anymore.
I'm just going to say
the number one player in the history of college football is no longer there.
How
lucky to bring that up?
How lucky did he get that Darian Beavers got injured?
Right.
I feel like Bumper Pool has a lot of Micah McFadden in him. I was going to mention that earlier.
John Rothstein voice. There's a lot of Bumper Pool in Micah McFadden.
Yeah.
Or there's a lot of Micah McFadden in Bumper Pool.
Yeah.
How does Mike Tressel slow down Arkansas's rushing attack and offense as a whole?
Very carefully.
That's
very
good offense.
Very strategically. How about that?
That's from Bearcat Nation 11.
I think I'm going to tell you. Why Bearcat Nation 11? Why would I do that? Why would you ask, hey, Chad, can you give us everything you know about the game plan to stop Arkansas? No. Why would I do that? It doesn't make any damn sense.
I do think it starts with containing KJ Jefferson. That's
sure.
That's
he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. That's the very vanilla answer that Luke Fickell would want me to give. Contain one of the best quarterbacks in the country, have a chance to win.
Who would you say was the last legit dual threat guy that Cincinnati played? I mean,
one of the Notre Dame quarterbacks.
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, he's not KJ Jefferson at all.
No, but I mean, they run like it's a similar system. I think that's like Dave and I'm sure we'll get into this more on Thursday.
Yeah.
It's a Brile system. And I think people look at the Brile system and think pass.
No.
But they pass off of
RPO,
pounding the run, RPO.
Right.
RPO, run, and then they try to hit you deep.
Deep ball,
and when they do the RPO, they run their wide receivers on go routes. They try to wear down your corners. And then when it's time, the philosophy is they can hit you over the top because they've run at you with the RPO, regular.
Mm-hmm.
And then they try to hit a deep ball. And if that works, then the offense works. And if it doesn't, it looks like the UCF offense over the past 3 years that they played Cincinnati.
Or they try and hit a comeback and a true freshman intercepts it and takes it to the house. How about that?
Yeah.
They have a
Teddy Bridgewater and Lamar Jackson. Did they play? They didn't play Lamar. I don't.
They didn't play Lamar. And
Teddy
that
Bridgewater
Teddy game
is
at
good.
Nippert was insane.
Fuck that guy.
Unbelievable. It's not Caillou. Goodness. What is the ceiling for UC's football program? Is Clemson being a non-blue blood program breaking into the new blood a realistic goal / roadmap for UC? For the sake of the argument, let's make the assumption that the Big 12 remains the same or expands, and the CFP remains the same or expands, meaning that UC's access to the championship postseason structure remains the same or improves.
So Clemson won 2 national championships in this window. So if the ceiling is Clemson, hot damn, we're gonna have a lot of fun over the next 5 years, right? That's like vaulted ceilings, right? Like you look at that house and you're like, that's a 3-story house, and people are like, no, that's a 1-story house. The ceilings are just 30 feet.
Right.
I got an uncle that's got like a living room that's got ceilings that go up like 2.5 stories, and they have to get like ladders to go up and clean the cobwebs, and that's a really high ceiling. But yeah, Clemson's the answer, right? Like,
Yeah, it is. I mean, what they finished number 1 overall in 1981, and then
they won 1 national championship before what Dabo has done.
Yeah, that was in 81 with Danny Ford, and then Dabo, I mean, just took them to way higher heights.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
How good has Arkansas's recruiting been based on 24/7 results? Are we facing talent almost at par with Alabama / Georgia, or is it well below that level, particularly concerned up front? I'll pull those numbers up while you guys talk.
Well, it's SEC recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the SEC always excel? Why is the SEC the best conference in terms of talent? It's because what they recruit at the point of attack is better than everywhere else. And that's because you have, in the South, you have bigger kids.
Right.
Who's got, is that?
I think that's Danco Joe with the,
Joe,
with the
you
clock
got
in the
alarm?
background.
You got a clock in the background? At 10 o'clock? It's 10 o'clock? You got the 10 o'clock
Whatever,
alarm
it's
going off? 2 hours, guys. 2 hours.
time to kick things into high gear.
But you can see Arkansas in this year's class has 8 4-stars, 15 3-stars, ranked number 16. And I'll pull up last year and the year before.
They're about in that range, 25 to 15. But that's bottom of the SEC, as crazy as that sounds. Like, if you finish 20th in the standings, you're like 15th in the SEC. Like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a perfect summary of Arkansas recruiting. They have big boys on both sides of the ball.
This was last year, and this was 28, 7 4-stars, 12 3-stars.
What would Cincinnati do at this point in a class with 7 4-stars? There'd be a lot of loss of blood flow to the brain if Cincinnati was racking up classes with 7 4-stars every year. I think we're going to get there. Not there yet.
Let's see what you did there.
2018 Bumper Pool was their number 1 recruit. 4-star, 339 in the country. That is when they finished with the 45th composite ranking in the country.
2 years ago, it was 7 4-stars, 12 3-stars, number 28 overall. I'm done, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Can we get a regular conference realignment update from Dan Simon? Still waiting on his Twitter account. That's the football mailbag.
I think I can get this photo signed.
You print that photo out, I'll get it. I
Wow.
mean,
That is amazing.
that is amazing.
Wow,
That is
Danco Joe.
amazing.
Good capture right there, man. That's good.
Moving on to the short basketball mailbag. How many non-conference wins?
Well, real quick. Someone sent me another listing on the Arkansas board. If you guys need a little bit more fire, said that they're going to make the UC fans cry on Saturday, which is just the utter confidence. A lot like what Justin was saying with Chad, you and him going on the Arkansas podcast and radio shows. It is eerily similar to Notre Dame last year. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't know that this Cincinnati team is as good.
Oh, no.
Week 1.
Oh no, I'm just
as
saying
that Cincinnati team was.
right. I'm just saying, just
Cool,
like
right?
their fans' view of SEC versus AAC, like Aaron was saying. So let's roll.
You're welcome. How many non-conference wins will UC get this season? How many does UC need to be in a good spot for an NCAA bid going in conference season?
Get a huge win in Maui. I don't know which one, but get a huge win in Maui. If you get 2 in Maui,
Whew.
you're in great
Pretty.
shape. And then you got to beat X at home. You have to.
Especially if that second win comes against Ohio State.
Well, I mean, winning game 1 against Arizona is going to be a bitch. Because even with what they lost, they're going to be really good. But if you win game 2 and 3, and you go 2-1 in Maui, even if you don't win Maui, but you still get 2 wins on the island and one of the best Maui fields in a while, you feel really good. You come home, you beat X. You have at minimum 2 losses in the non-conference. You go into the American Athletic Conference feeling really good. If you've got 3 or 4 losses going into the AAC, you better be really fucking good.
It's going to be an uphill climb.
Yeah.
I also think the whole thing of, kind of a weaker schedule before Maui is it's a double-edged sword as well, to the fact that, you're not going to put a lot of tape out there for Arizona in that opening game in the Maui Invitational. Sure, you're not going to get too much of a build-up. At Northern Kentucky will probably be, somewhat of a good tune-up right before you go out there. But, you're not going to expose anything too much, and then you go out there and you play Arizona and you give it all, throw everything at them. So,
hey, Jack, welcome to Timeout.
Oh, you can't just put guys from other teams in timeout.
If they're going to talk shit, they're going to timeout.
Let them have
I didn't block him.
Let them
I
have
didn't block him. I just put him in timeout for a couple minutes.
Let them have their fun.
He's not looking to contribute to the conversation. He's just looking to talk shit. He can go in timeout for a couple minutes.
It's funny because Jeff was just texting me. How has Chad not exploded on this dude yet? I looked
Ain't
down.
nobody got time for that.
I looked down and you've put him in time. All right.
It's like he's like a 3-year-old. You're in timeout. He's like your infant in a year.
He's like Arkansas. It's fine.
We're putting you in timeout.
Congrats and thanks on 100 episodes, fellas. The lifetime of the BBP has seen a lot of upheaval on the basketball side of things. What's your favorite basketball moment or story from the lifetime of the BBP thus far?
Getting to the AAC championship game. John Brannon's final year.
Oh, I got you one better. The end
beating Illinois.
The end of the previous regime and the hiring of Wes Miller.
Yeah. Beating Illinois has to be the answer, right? Because there was a lot of I don't know where this is going to go.
Oh, with Kofi Cockburn?
Cockburn
is the way that's spelled.
Easy. You're going to make me say something I can't.
I'm just going off of reading.
Well, if you guys remember, the Illinois game happened, and then we did the BBP right away. And so it was the same night. That was a good night. I was at the
Grail. We did a watch party. It was shocking after they got their ass kicked in the first 8 minutes of that game.
Right.
And then they destroyed Illinois for 30 minutes.
I would say a funny thing for me was when the previous regime was kind of, when that final game happened, the drubbing against Houston in the AAC championship game, I was on another podcast and I was kind of trying to be the optimist about look at some bright sides of things, guys. Everything's going to be all right. And then literally 2 days later, all hell broke loose. And I was like, oh gosh, let's go ahead and burn that other tape. Make sure you didn't hear it. But yeah, I would agree with Aaron. The hiring of Wes Miller, that was exciting. Just talking about everything he brings. And then everything.
And it brought Coach Morgan into our
I was going to say, and then the number 2 right there would be Coach Morgan, obviously. And also the former players that we had on. That was really fun as well.
Yeah. You're on mute or something.
You're on mute.
And that's the end of the basketball mailbag. We are on to the Banks mailbag.
Real
Real quick.
transition.
Yep. Chad, when you started out in your broadcasting career, was there someone you emulated or wanted to be like on the radio? Also, do you have any favorites to work with that people may not immediately think of, i.e. Dave Lapham, who just seems like a cool dude? P.S. Aaron, sorry I missed you Friday. Hopefully I won't miss next time, or I will get to see you.
I mean, I'm a typical kid that loved radio growing up. It was Marty, right? Like, that's where a lot of the, condescending nature of my Marty was never afraid to like hold people accountable. I think I'm like, that was something that I appreciated, was like, yeah, like I'm doing this every day, but if I see something that I feel needs to like be questioned, like I'm going to question it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to have that conversation. Maybe it's right. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe it's just, we talked about this the other night with with Mike Denbrock, how I think fans were wrong in their attacking of Mike Denbrock because he was just the short end of the stick. Because they weren't going after Luke Fickell. They weren't going after Marcus Freeman. Denbrock was the one guy that was left on the coaching staff that everybody decided to pile on. So let's have those conversations. Is that the right move? Well, they put two of the three best offenses in Cincinnati history on paper 2 of the last 3 years. And that's why Cincinnati was great. Because the defense was great and the offense was right there with them. So let's have those conversations. So Marty would always be like someone that inspired me to like push. And even if there was a mob mentality or like a consensus, or everybody wanted to jump on one thing, don't be afraid to talk about that one thing and tell people, I think you got it wrong. Or I think at least you're not being fair. Someone that has been the best to me in the city, I'd have to say George Vogel. When I was young and just getting started and starting to work my way up, there was nobody that had my back like George Vogel and Richard Skinner. Both of them, I think, would be in this conversation because both of them have done yeoman's work in helping people get into this business, not being an asshole. Like the same reason that when Aaron like hit me up on Twitter and wanted to talk, when Brent, you hit me up 4, 5, 6 times. Can I get in? I want to do this. How do I get in?
Only took me once.
Brent came in at a point where we were full on staff. You came in at a point where we needed some help.
I was just being silly.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Bad attempt on our 100th episode.
I'm saying I've always wanted to help guys like Aaron, guys like Brent, guys like Dave doesn't want to do this for a living. He wants to do this as like a hobby. But how much fun have we had with Dave and his ability to be like, I don't care, fuck it, let's have
almost
some
like
fun.
2 people sometimes.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Dave could even like. It's
I
like
will
Dave's
say,
got split personalities.
Dave has like burst out of his shell over the past like year, and it's awesome to see.
We're having fun with it. Like that's always been my thing. I want to help people get into this business. George Vogel did that. Richard Skinner did that for me. And I wouldn't be where I'm at if those 2 guys didn't have some belief in me. So young, it was Marty. Older, it was. There's a reason George and Skinny are still dominant members of the media in this town. After 20, I joke with George, like, I watched you on Channel 5 when I was a kid. And he's like, shut the fuck up. It's like Reagan telling me when I interviewed her, yeah, I wasn't even born when you started in this business. Yeah, okay, thanks. You're fired.
Nobody's
But,
smoother
yeah.
than Marty. Have you guys ever heard Marty do basketball?
Yeah,
Amazing.
he was the best basketball announcer in the country when he did basketball.
Yeah. Didn't he do Westwood won for years, like the tournament,
Yeah.
right?
He did national championship games. Like, he was amazing.
Yeah. My favorite Martyism, how we looking?
Not good. That was always the follow. He didn't ask how we were looking when it was good.
No. There was definitely something implied there.
Aaron, did you have one at all? I know we weren't asked, but anyone you looked up to kind of?
He looked up to Justin. He used to show up talking to Justin behind me.
That's probably fair. I think I still look up to Justin. He's a hell of a writer. Like,
He's the best writer I've ever.
Silly. Like,
No.
I should be so good to write anything remotely close to Justin as a writer.
You couldn't.
I actually look up to Chad in the way that he can hold a conversation with himself for 3 hours at a time on radio. I couldn't do that. Like, I mean, so there's certain things that I definitely look up to from a couple different people that I look up to as mentors. So,
How crazy is it to have all of those things on this show tonight?
Well, it was funny because even before the episode tonight, Rachel's like, "Do you ever get nervous like before you do a podcast anymore?" And I'm like, "Not really. I don't know what happened to that, but not really anymore. Like, it's time to go to work."
Yeah.
Brent, you?
Well, for me, I thought I was going to be a play-by-play guy for a while, but that is damn competitive.
Being a play-by-play
right
guy's hard. It's like going to Lowe's. It's hard,
right? So, I fanboy every time that I'm at a practice or a game, but Dan Horde was my dude. I used to listen to him on the radio all the time. What?
Dan still is a little bit of like, anytime I'm around Dan, I'm still a little starstruck with Dan. More so than
Dan's different, man.
Yeah.
That's
Dan's
the GOAT.
the man. Oh, he is
That's the GOAT for me. That's as good as it is in the broadcast industry. I consider Dan a friend. I'm still uncomfortable when I have to interview. Like, and when I say, "Hey, Dan, can you come on and join me?" I'm still uncomfortable asking Dan questions because I feel like Dan, more than anybody, can be like, "That's a stupid fucking question."
Yep, Dan when he was with Chuck and everyone. But what the funny thing is, so my parents live in Florida, blah blah blah. Before I was working with BCJ, I would go to the games at UCF and at USF.
Yeah.
And I would always hang out afterwards, be about 15 pops deep, and just like shout, just Dan Horde, I love you, brother. And I truly wonder if he knows that was my intoxicated ass.
I did the same thing with Justin and
down.
Chad to their face. It's fine.
Right, exactly.
As Aaron was leaving games, just drunkard and shit, I would remember him.
Dude, I was right there with you that one time, and I was like,
I know. Who is that guy?
That's the guy you're going to work with for 100
episodes. Your 100 episode podcast partner.
Golly,
Dan Horton's Notre Dame call was absolutely epic.
You see that? It doesn't get.
And then followed up by
every time I hear it, Joe.
Yep.
Chills every time I hear it. Did you see that? Chills.
And then he dropped the opportunity seized as a little dig to Brian Kelly for giving us the opportunity.
The opportunity to play them.
All right.
Oh, no. Why? I was going to put it up. No, I was going to put it up. He asked if anybody had a good break man. You know what? Funny thing, we have a good break man here on the show with us, Jack Freeman. You missed a golden opportunity.
Get out.
That makes us look soft. You can't kick people.
Get out.
Can't kick people just because they're fans and let them talk smack.
What are you doing with your Monday night? Showing up on this podcast to talk shit.
He heard that it was the 100th episode. That's why he's saying.
Who cares?
We're having fun.
Just wanted to let him know we have a good break man. He's right here. He offered an awesome deal. $100 off a $200 or more break job. Just whatever it is that you need. That's what I was trying to do, and you blocked him.
Get out, Jack Freeman.
That was a perfect way to end the show. It would have been a chef's kiss. Mwah.
Okay, do it right now. Do it. Go ahead.
Well, to bring everything full circle, because we do have Arkansas coming up this weekend. And we have talked a lot throughout the offseason about, Quincy Burrows being a player that has been exciting to watch.
They just offered his brother.
They just offered his freshman brother.
Also 6 foot. Woo!
Naeem the
love
Dream
that
Burrows.
so much. I love that so
Naeem the
much.
Dream Burrows.
And his mom tweeted beneath it, replied and said, "Congratulations, future Bearcat."
Love it.
The guy has
2026. We're talking about 2026 recruits.
the guy's a true freshman, 178 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I quit. 2026. I'm out.
Just thought it'd be a fun nugget to bring a full circle. Arkansas
That's what-
coming up this weekend.
4 years from now, 50 episodes a year. That's episode 300. We're going to be talking about Quincy Burrow's little brother arriving on campus.
Quincy is the leading receiver on the team, and his brother is who's up next. I like it. I like it a lot.
All right.
I really do. But yeah,
Joe, thank
Joe.
you, brother.
Hey, thank you guys. This was awesome. And just to reiterate, we do breaks before we take a little break here. We do breaks. We can get you in. We can get you done. We'll get you going.
Joe's full circle, man. That is full circle.
Tried so hard. I had it all set up. It was perfect. He even brought it. It was like he was sent from heaven, the heavens to. You guys know a good break, man. As a matter of fact, he's right there. Yeah,
That's right. And speaking of breaks, one more time, I hope the Bearcats beat the brakes off the Arkansas Razorbacks. How about that?
How can they find your tailgate? You and Tonk are Joe or Brent. Give me a Tonk.
Donk.
All right. How can they find the tailgate with you and Tonk in Arkansas?
So very easy. You can check it out online. It's Arkansas Road Hogs. And if you Google that, it'll give you their website. They're right on campus. There's a free shuttle to the game. So you can park around there. Come join us. We're going to do a little SEC tailgating and have a great time.
I love
there
it.
it is.
Joe, do
Well,
you
thank
wanna
you
do-
for being here for what are we at? Like 60 episodes? You've been the guy here?
Yeah, for the better part of those 100, and hope to keep on doing them. I hope to be around when we're doing the Little Burrows kid. So
Iron sharpens iron.
that's
Danco
right,
Joe.
baby.
Boom,
Thank you
baby.
for being here.
Thank
Thank you to everybody that joined. Mo Egger, Justin Williams, Andre Morgan. What was that?
Dave Simone.
Dave Simone, Dan Simon.
That's the one.
There's
Who
one
was-
big one. One
who
giant
was-
one. My best buddy.
Brady Collins.
The guy that should be right here.
Right. In your armpit?
Like more of like my arm around him.
You got to get better art in your bedroom than.
Brent,
Yeah.
get us out of here.
Well, hey, like Chad said, special thanks to everyone who came on. 100 episodes in, 100 easy episodes as well. It truly doesn't feel like it's been that long. So special thanks not only to all the guests that came on, but to Chad and Aaron every week. You know, you guys put up with my stupidness and, you make sure that we flow smoothly throughout. But yeah, and finally, one big last special thank you to Danco Joe. We'll have to link up somehow, Joe, and because Aaron and I will be down there, and we'll be having ourselves a time. But it's game week, guys. Literally Saturday, 3:30 p.m. on ESPN or down in Fayetteville. It's the Bearcats. Yeah.
And if you can't make it, Holy Grail, every road game, same as always, we will be there. I'll be there. Watch party. Watch the Bearcats and the Razorbacks. 3:30 downtown Holy Grail Banks for those of you that aren't going to be able to make it to Fayetteville.
Just don't talk to or touch Chad.
You can touch me, just don't slap the shit out of me when I'm not paying attention.
Sensitive backs. I'm right there with you. But hey, guys, yet again, for one last time, big thank you to Joe, Aaron, and Chad. Yet again, guys, I am Brent Young. This was a fantastic Bearcat Bounce podcast presented by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!
See ya.